If you're in the market for a chill, breezy platformer with a kind heart, I can't think of a better game to recommend than Misc, A Tiny Tale. From its cutesy exterior, to its heartfelt interior, to even the flow of the game itself, I was thoroughly delighted by this game. It's just a non-stop barrage of joy, kindness, and ingenuity. A project that makes its message crystal clear and delivers it with such passion. Misc revolves its every action around the love of games, the goodness of this world, and making a difference, no matter how small. And what better way to start talking about the game's every action than by talking gameplay? On the surface, Misc's gameplay has quite obvious inspirations. This is a love letter to the GameCube era, both the big shots and the underdogs. From the visual style alone, of course, Pikmin and Chibi Robo influences are apparent. Running around as a pint-sized robot in a world where humans are no more? It couldn't be more obvious. But the devs at Tinyware make this aesthetic all their own with diverse biomes, creative set pieces, and mixing in some more collectathon platformer elements. There's a snowy tool shed where you traverse through a freezer, a musical garden where you bounce on drums and walk across xylophones, a desert town ruled by a queen cat. There's a lot of fun places to explore, each with their own unique ensemble of characters and platforming to play through. Not to mention, they look pretty nice. Have I mentioned this game only had 3 core developers working on it? Incredibly impressive work in that regard. The main character, Buddy the Robot, progresses through these areas by helping others, doing favors for golden cogs, or picking up trash to clean the environment. In this way, there's a lot of Mario Sunshine to the world, especially with some puddles looking a lot like that icky paint-like goop.
It's moving!
That's not even getting into some of these platforming challenge stages. Like, this isn't a bad thing by any stretch, but talk about wearing your inspiration on your sleeve, huh? As for the platforming itself, it's quite good. A bit floaty, but fairly easy to adjust to. The game isn't particularly difficult either, but I think that's for the best. It's not overbearing, nor does it talk down to the player. It strikes a nice balance across its 8 sandbox levels, with the aforementioned Mario Sunshine-like bonus stages, adding a little spice for seasoned platforming fans. I found that the collectibles were always placed in areas that were feasible to discover on my own, too. Completion in general was pretty breezy. I only had trouble tracking down one thing in the late game, and even then, the game has a system in place to help with that. Very nice, though I didn't need to be reminded how much of a cheater I was. So yeah, the main gameplay and the aesthetics were super solid and charming. But what truly surprised me with Misc was the narrative. On the surface, it's a bit simple. One night, a mysterious explosion fills the sky, littering the world with golden cogs and trash. It's up to the main protags, Buddy and Bag Boy, to set out on an adventure to help make things right. The cutscenes are super charming, accompanied by this wonderful narrator who reminds me of the one from Kirby's Epic Yarn, but with less talking about pants.
Haven't you ever wondered what else is out there, buddy?
It feels like trousers.
Or trousers. Guys, I had to download this clip last second. I didn't know it was the British version. It brings this whimsical, bedtime story-like vibe to the cutscenes that only helped endear me further to the storyline. But if that was it, it wouldn't have won me over the way it did. No, the unexpected depth to the narrative is what sold it to me. I'm not saying it's like Shakespeare or anything, but it's an involved, active component of the entire game. Almost everything you do ties into the titular tiny tale, and helps make the game world a better place. The more acts of goodwill you do, the more things develop, and they develop in such a wonderful way that really brings everything to life. Buddy will help others and get golden cogs, of course, but you do this not just through platforming challenges and fetch quests, but by making a difference in some of their lives. Reuniting a band, helping 2 gym bros confess their love for one another, helping a Hydra made of appliances appear less scary. These charming mini-narratives bring each little corner of the world to life. So many of them are tied to characters, and helping them through their journeys was always delightful. And if that wasn't enough, the more of the world you clean up, the more you'll get rewarded. The extrinsic motivation is more than just concept art, which is already nice. There's rewards that are diegetic too, like these incredibly charming letters you receive by making enough of a difference. The beings in this world get inspired by what Buddy does, and some of them have arcs of their own that span across multiple letters. They tell of people who want to help make a difference or be more true to themselves. It really emphasizes the themes of the story. Not just the importance of making a difference, and not just that one act of goodwill always sparks another. but also the importance of embracing our differences. Of course, some letters are from detractors or spam lines, but those are entertaining in their own way too. It helps the message not come off as entirely one-sided and adds a bit more humor. As the main narrative goes on, however, it takes some interesting and emotional turns that I truly wasn't expecting. I won't say anything specific, obviously, I can barely show stuff beyond the halfway point, but I got invested in these tiny robots and wrapped up in their journey. As it came to a close, I actually wound up getting a little choked up. Were there maybe one or two story beats I wish were in gameplay instead of cinematics? Maybe, but ultimately the story is still told incredibly effectively. It really brings the whole thing together into one big bundle of joy. Misc: A Tiny Tale is something truly special. From beginning to end, there's an unbeatable, indomitable passion glowing from every corner of the project. It's a genuine delight, a game that I simply could not get enough of. Hell, as soon as this video goes out, I might just go and replay it. I laughed, I got teary-eyed, and I had so much fun just making a difference in this little world of tiny robots. This game is dead set on bringing smiles to the world and making a difference. And it does so with flying colors, even making a bit of a difference in my life. And I hope, when the game comes out, that some of you give it a go, and let it make a difference in yours, too.